So what do you do before you start off, and what do you incorporate as part of your campaign so as to minimize this risk?
So, what do you do to start? Perhaps could be a lengthy process. And I'll just give you another example of how we do compliance for non-pharma companies, let's say for IT compliance. So what I generally do is, so that you don't miss out on anything, you first make a list of legislations applicable, which we already have made a list, and we've said, okay, these 8 legislations are applicable. Look at every clause and say that, does my advertisement comply with this clause or not? Or you can say, okay, this clause is not applicable at all. So let's say a clause relating to Ayush, the company can say, no, I need not worry about it because it's not Ayush medicine. But so that it gives you an absolute black and white picture of what is applicable to me and what is not. Now, the moment you have this master, say, list ready, that, okay, out of these 8 legislations and 8 into, say, 10 provisions, 80 provisions, only 15 are applicable to me or my business or my advertisement. Now, out of 80, you have to worry only about 50. Now, once you have identified those 15, then you say, okay, now in order to comply with this clause so and so, this is how my ad will look like, or this is what I need to put on my ad. So I think that will be a lengthy process, and that could be also a one-off process once you have your master list ready.
Which you can do across the company in general, right? You can create a standardized checklist which you're saying, okay, this anytime you're doing a digital advertising campaign, this is a checklist against which I need to check whether I'm doing all the right thing.
Right. Now I also have one, sort of word of warning, because the moment you have a checklist, you become complacent, because you say, oh, there's a checklist. So I have checked it. So it's more like tick mark and cross. So that checklist has to be dynamic. Every time there's somebody who needs to own the checklist and say that every time I am going to have a look at it afresh, not just the checklist, but I'm going to see, has the law changed? Is there something new which has come up? Has the High Court said something else? That is, you need to be vigilant about. It cannot be static. It has to be a living checklist. Now, going to stage 2, we already had in our presentation the exclusions, which I said that this is something that the ad either cannot do or has to do. For example, it says for medical practitioners only, which means the ad needs to have upfront that note. If that ad is trying to look like, say, a research article, then upfront it has to say that it is an advertisement, because actually our intention is to, in a way, pass it off as a research article. But in order to be on the right side of law, somewhere you need to say it is an advertisement, and in a font that is visible. Not in a font that actually sort of just gets lost in that, because then the spirit is not protected, spirit of the legislation. So I think 1 or 2, something like this. Or as I said in 3.2, you need to have all the relevant information of the drug actually published in the ad. So what is the dosage, what is the risk, what are the side effects, etc. Now, if you don't have enough space on the ad, then that document has to be ready somewhere and should be in a way easily distributable. So the moment the medical practitioners asks for this additional information, we should be able to readily provide it.